Hey there, good afternoon. It is Hannah and it's the 16th of May. So I currently actually have COVID. I was expecting this and it's not as bad as it was last time. That's a side note because it's not really changed what I'm doing. What I'm currently doing is decluttering and changing everything in the studio in the hopes that it will be easier to work with, which will mean that I can get more done and feel lighter when I come in here. It makes a massive difference to the environment I'm working in, as for most people actually. And yeah, I just wanted something that felt lighter and easier and more ergonomic. Does that sound right for a studio? Yeah, I think it does. It means that when you're in here, you know where everything is. It's easy to walk around and coming through the door. This is the mess that is my door at the moment. This is the door with the lights and the ironing board, and you can see the boxes in the corner there. Now, this isn't just this part of the house. You can see one of my drawings over there. That is from 24 years ago. My goodness me. Crikey. Yeah, it's not just this part of the house that's having a full declutter and rearrange. I'm doing this with the rest of the house as well. So what is coming out of here, it's kind of all messed up with everything else. Nice and tidily. Know where everything is. But yeah, so it's a bit confusing. So I don't know why, but this is the landline phone from the other room. Anyway, so these are my knitting books, obviously. This little unit here hasn't moved. And you may well be aware that I sit opposite this with my back to it when filming usually. The desk has moved. So the desk usually sits, if I just move you around here, right in front of this window. Not anymore. There's a big space there. So the desk is now right in front here. Okay? So where's the computer? I've got my back to that unit again. So we've got all the shelves behind me. But I'm facing the door so I can see anyone coming in. And that's very good feng shui. Look at that lovely tall ceiling. I feel so fortunate. We're in a bungalow, which means that we are very fortunate to have high ceilings and beautiful big windows at the front of the house. Look at that. There you go. I actually have to have these curtains drawn or partially open a lot of the time, simply because it's way too bright if I have them open. That's why we've got quite thin ones in here, but there you go. So this is the disarray that is this massive shelf unit, and it used to have needles in big pots and all sorts of yarn and tools on it. So currently this is what I've moved over with it, and the collections of yarn here haven't really changed, they're just on different shelves. And this is not how it's going to stay. I mean, even the positions of the shelves have moved and changed, and that's just convenience sake rather than anything else. But yeah, a lot of them are still empty, and I'm packing up a few yarn orders. I'm decluttering stuff. I will tell you, I'm putting stuff on eBay, and if you'd like some yarn, then I will send you over the link for that. So I will now move over and show you the disarray that is my desk. Because, yeah, my printer's over here behind the computer. I was getting rather annoyed because when I opened the door here, all I could see was these cords from the back of the computer. And I tried putting books here, and then I thought, why don't I just put the printer there? And what I like about this, actually, now this is an interesting tip if you feel like this might be something that you need as well. I print stuff on and off all during the day. So I can't just reach behind me and pick it up with the swivel chair. I have to get out of my seat, come round and get it out of this. It might seem inconvenient, but it means that I'm moving. And even if I'm just in here for half an hour and I print one thing, I'm sitting down for, an average of 15 minutes. I have to get up and go to the printer once and then back down again. And I feel that that is so much better for me than just being sat there without that kind of movement. I'm really pleased with this setup now. This desk thing, cupboard, is currently empty. This has packaging in it. It has paper ready for and waiting for the printer. All sorts of things, fiddly things that I need but I don't come to regularly. And then on here is things waiting to go somewhere else. I have a massive collection of sewing threads, which isn't really knitting, but as it's crafting, it stays in here as well. Now that's interesting. Anyone in the UK know what that is? Pride and Prejudice has appeared in my in the studio as well. I started reading that last year. I've got so far and then it's ended up in here for some reason. Yeah, I've got other books. Don't look at that knitting, it's a secret. And yeah, that is my desk. Yeah, a lot of it is now in the living room. So I've got yarn in a couple of cardboard boxes in the living room. I've got needles all still in their jars on the living room table. Now, this is an inconvenience, but it's not going to last for long. Nick and I are basically watching TV, eating, and I sit there in the evening as well, on the bed. We don't have that many rooms in this house, so it's either that or sit in the bathroom and do daily tasks. So I sit there and read. I'm not that inconvenienced during the day, and it's the weekends, but it's for a short while I'm moving everything around and doing stuff. We have been able to sit on the sofa occasionally when there isn't stuff piled on it. But yeah, it's a small space, you can see that. So yeah, it's a process and I'd love to talk more about this. I think as I'm going through this, I'm realising that I've needed a downtime. I've needed a cocoon time. And that's because I know my focus for Knit with Hannah is changing. And I haven't been able to actually pin down what's not working and what is. Because I can come on the YouTube channel and do a video, but if it doesn't feel right in my soul, and I've filmed quite a few videos in the past year or so that haven't ended up on YouTube because I think really that's not what I really want to talk about on this channel. And while they might be helpful for knitters, I really want to say what's in my heart and be part of a conversation, and it helps knitters in a different way. I know how much knitting has helped me in my life, and as a knitter who feels almost crowded out by a lot of knitters online, and this is the comparisonitis. I say, look how much I knitted this month, this is how many things I knitted in 2023, and all this kind of thing. That isn't me. That is not me as a knitter, and you know that. As a knitter, I use knitting for the pleasure it gives me, for the relaxation it gives me, for the joy it gives me in a very different way, and I want to share that kind of knitting with you. I want to be part of the conversation that is making a difference in a different way. So yeah, I've been I've been resting a lot, and I've needed a big downtime, obviously, because I'm still recognized that I'm recovering still from being ill in autumn last year. That was quite devastating. And then I'm also still recovering, I know, from the last 2 bouts and now 3 bouts of COVID I've had in the last 2 years. So yeah, that's a difficult thing, and my body isn't set to cope with that kind of thing easily. It's set to stun when that kind of thing happens and says, okay, yeah, we're going to stun Hannah, we are. Phaser set to stun, and yeah, let's give her a hard time, shall we? But that's okay. And my body's needed a big rest, a massive rest, a lot longer than I thought. I thought I'd be gone for a couple of weeks and then I'd be back. And then I've completely disappeared, doing many fewer emails to all of you beautiful people who have said yes, who said we're on that same journey too. And I thank you so much for that, because it means that there's more of us. We're all thinking very similar things, and we're all wondering how knitting works in this modern world. Because literally 30 years ago, you could go out and buy a jumper. 200 years ago, you couldn't go out and buy a jumper. You had to knit it yourself if you didn't have that much in way of wages. So yeah, 30, 50 years ago, it was a lot more possible. It was much more possible for anyone to go out and start buying items that are knitted. I am very much aware that in this day and age, buying knitwear happens at the click of a finger. You don't even have to say, I'm going out this weekend and maybe over the next month or two, I will find a jumper that's perfect for me. Or I will knit it. You don't have to say that anymore. You can say, I'm choosing one on Amazon and it's coming to me within 24 hours. And sometimes if you order it early in the morning, it will be there the same day. So yeah, it's a different conversation, and I want to figure out how that works in this century. And I know that you're part of that too, because knitting has a very, very different purpose in my eyes. It has the sense of so many physical, emotional, mental benefits, and we can be there for each other and recognizing that. Right, I'm going to say goodbye, and before I start to cry. Thank you for being here with me in the raw, and I will be back. I am returning, and like I said, if you want to join my email list, then I'll leave the link below, because I am putting things on there that says because I'm decluttering and I'm saying, actually, I'm not selling yarn anymore. It was kits to start with and yarn and everything, and I realised that a lot of that is not where I want to be, because it's building up yarn stash and it's just sitting there, and I don't want yarn to be sat in my studio without being used. I don't want your yarn to be sat there without being used either. And when I send out yarn for anyone, even if people buy it on eBay, I just stick a pattern in as well. Say, look, actually, if this is for your yarn stash, what could you do with it? So yeah, that's something that I find important too. If we're buying yarn, let's find a purpose for it and let's actually enjoy it. Yeah. Okay. So come on the email list, and I will be sharing links to all sorts of things over the next few weeks as I just gently move through and sort through what is coming back in here and what's not. Because that's it. It's saying yes or no. Okay. While I'm holding this, the camera's getting more and more wobbly. My arms aren't strong enough. Okay. I will see you soon. Many thanks for being here and for your patience and continuing to be here for me, and I will be here for you. I'm not going away. this isn't it. All the best. Hope you're enjoying the spring and of course the start of winter if you're down under. Happy knitting.